Hey, everybody, welcome back to Couch Critics, where Dave and I normally pretend we're experts. But today, we brought in an actual fresh perspective. We're joined by a very special guest, my daughter, Danika, budding cinephile, chef, and proof that at least one of my kids turned out incredibly cool. So buckle up because this episode has opinions, popcorn, and the proud dad sitting way too close to the mic. That being said, Dave, welcome in. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm super excited to have Danica here. I haven't seen her in been a couple of years, really.
It's been a long
Yeah,
time.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It was great to see you.
You too.
And that opening, the only reason I was comfortable making that opening is because my other two daughters will not listen to this anyways. So, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Matter.
You never know. You never know. They might.
Yeah. They might listen
Maybe,
now because Danica will say, "Guess what Dad said."
We'll come back and we'll do this thing again as each daughter comes on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Exactly. I try to get them to do it. But that being said, yesterday, did you watch anything last night since we recorded yesterday?
A bunch of stuff, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's just say one quick thing, which is I'd like to know more because all I hear is this fantastic stuff, Danica, about your tastes in films, your tastes in everything else. Welcome to the show. Yes. I'd like to know, do you think you adopted your dad's taste or you're affecting your dad's movie taste? Because I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both because he loves all his like horror and everything, and I do not do horror at all. But
same.
And there's a lot of like the artsy type movies that he hasn't seen that I have seen that I try to get him to watch. But
yeah,
he's got such a long list that it's hard to get him to actually sit down and watch it.
I know. Yeah. Trust me. For 20 years I've been dealing with this.
I'm sure.
I will say, Danica, it definitely takes after my taste and yours as well, Dave, because she loves Wes Anderson.
Yes, I do love Wes Anderson.
She's definitely right in line with Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson is great for white people. Let's just be frank about it. You know, I'm not saying everybody can't like it, but I'm saying that there's an unnatural appeal, towards our generation. Especially in the people around our age, younger people.
But more recently, she's a huge Fight Club fan, right?
Club,
I love Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, Fight Club was so good. I remember when that came out, and I was so protective of making sure nobody got the spoiler for that. You know what I mean? Like foolishly, and then years later I realized, well, if everybody hasn't seen it, then I'm gonna stop. But here I am doing it again. If anybody doesn't know, Fight Club is fantastic, should see it. It's a combination of great people, a great author, a great writer, and of course one of the greatest filmmakers of the last 250 years.
Yeah. Because film has been around that long, everybody. Write it down. It's real.
Apparently. I think it has. Let me ask you a question. What's your you don't have to give us all this stuff, but what is like your favorite go-to movie, Danica? What do you like? Everybody has that thing. They'd be like, oh, if this is on, I have to watch it. What's yours?
Probably like, I don't have like one specific one I would say, but anything like Dazed and Confused or like Step Brothers. I like Step Brothers a lot. Just anything like quick, easy comedy that's still a good movie that I like to watch.
Yeah. No, Step Brothers is fantastic.
Step Brothers is a good movie.
She's also Danica.
It's those Dazed and Confused. It's comforting. Yeah.
Danica loves a good New Girl rewatch too.
Yes, New Girl.
Yeah.
And Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Is that the poster behind you?
That's what that one is from, the top one, but this one's just a random Danny DeVito poster that I got.
Love Danny
DeVito.
Yes, me too.
Absolutely love him. You've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I assume?
Yes, I have. And read the book.
When he's super young.
Yes.
Yeah. Phenomenally young in that little kid, which is the best thing about Sonny doing an episode where he goes to a mental institution. He's reprising a role in an institution in a way, and yet he's sitting there playing. I don't know what the actor's name is. There's an actor who's playing the Danny DeVito character. I can't remember the character's name, but who's playing it, and that must be weird to play it directly to Danny DeVito like that.
Probably.
Such a great show.
It is a great show.
Yeah, she, like you, Dave, if she wants to reference something, it always goes back to Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah. Well, it has to.
Yeah.
Because, here's one question, and maybe you are also in agreement. First of all, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is phenomenal. Why did it never win any Emmys or won one Emmy for like stunt coordination or something?
That's it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Never any awards. They did an episode about how they get looked over for awards.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they get looked over for awards. And if you don't know, they finally had an appearance on the Emmys, was it, Josh, last year?
Yeah.
The Sunny Crew, and I think they came out and looked around the crowd, the whole group, and they said, "You guys do this every year? How come we didn't know about it?" Which is such a Sunny way to do it.
Yeah, because they're coming up on
phenomenal.
their 20th season and 24 years as a show, something like that.
17th season just came out, and 20-year anniversary of the show starting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the birth of that network, FX.
FX,
do you, Danica? Do you watch the other shows that the crew make? Like, have you seen?
I've seen AP Bio, and then me and Dad started Mythic Quest, but we never finished it. And then there was one of Charlie's that I almost started watching, but I can't remember what it's called.
You watched
you see his movie?
Yes.
You watched
the new one.
Dee's show, right?
Whose? Oh, yeah.
Dee's show.
High Potential.
High Potential.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that show's really good.
Yeah, it is.
It's good especially for a network
Yeah.
show. What was the show she did before that one? The one I really liked also.
Is it the one with the like children?
Yeah.
It's Mick.
I liked that show.
It's the Mick.
There you
go.
I really liked that show. And I thought
good.
she was great in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great mix of her D character transitioning into a different type of character. And I don't know, people just don't like that crew, I suppose. I don't know. Mythic Quest is good.
AP Bio, I wish it got a television run, not just an online thing, because they only did one season on TV and then they moved the rest of it to Peacock or whatever.
That's how everything works. I remember we had this conversation. There's a show called The Paper, which is made by the same crew who did The Office.
Yeah, they did the reverse, right?
They did the reverse, which it was just insane. They start on streaming and then go to network television.
Like,
Either the network
people like this.
Yeah, let's put it out in front of more people. How often do you watch movies? You watch movies all the time, Danica? Like I watch 10 movies a week if I can, maybe more.
I don't watch that many because I've been really into true crime lately, so I haven't been watching my movies as much. But at least 2 to 5 a week, I would say.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
but she's way better than me. She watches a lot of she watches a lot of TV shows, so she's all caught up on things like White Lotus and stuff like. So she also does that. So she incorporates a little more.
I try to watch a lot of the classics right now because Dad will mention something, and I'm like, I've never seen that, so I have to go watch it. And then I like trying to watch just all the new movies that come out as they hit streaming because I'm not good at going to the movie theater.
You need to be our resident new movie expert because I'm the reverse. I only seem to watch old stuff. I come on here and we do this. What have we been watching? And pretty much it's always some silent movies that nobody cares about.
Which is the same as him.
Yeah. But then there's a brand new movie, large, small, whatever. And I don't know. It's a blind spot, I suppose. But we need somebody to come in and tell us what's better that's new.
What's good. Yeah, what was the movie? We were just talking about a movie this morning, a classic classic to me that you needed to watch because of, was it Summer of '85?
Well, you brought up Slacker.
Harold and Maude.
Harold and Maude, yes.
I've never seen that either.
You haven't?
No, yeah.
He's been telling me to watch it for a while, and I still haven't.
Yeah. I know I know I'll expect it to be very good. You go black and white, you go silent. Can you handle silent movies?
Sometimes I've watched like 2 or 3 with him and they were okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Mostly
I get a little,
silent.
if they're super long, I get antsy and bored and I can't just sit there with nothing.
They're slow paced.
Yeah.
They're harder in a lot of ways to watch.
I like black and white though.
I think I've shown you Safety Last and George Méliès's A Trip to the Moon.
Yes, that's my favorite silent movie.
Oh, and I showed The Great Train Robbery.
Yeah.
So what, the 1903
I gave her
we're
gonna go to the beginning, we're gonna go to the beginning.
That's like the first old movie I think that Dad ever showed me, and I just thought it was really cool and like cool to look at, so I've always just really liked it.
Hand painted cells where they're painting
it's really
each
cool.
one.
Yes.
It's incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so if black and white, but with sound, like
Yeah.
pre-code stuff.
What
I
was
don't think I've ever
it
shown her a
was
pre-code.
you had a, like, 8-movie collection of
Yeah.
one
See,
director that I really
no, it
liked.
was the
It's Alfred
actor,
Hitchcock.
Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness, we watched, Kind Hearts and
Lavender Hill Mob?
Coronets, the Lavender Hill
Yes, yeah,
Mob,
those
and,
ones.
the one that, Lady Killers.
Lady Killers was my favorite of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that
Yeah.
one a lot.
So it was like 8 Ealing comedies starring Alec
Yeah,
Guinness.
that's what it was, yeah.
The reboot of Lady Killers is what, 2004, I think?
Yeah.
That was one of the first times, because Belle, you had
I
I
liked
got
it.
two I got two Bells here. That's funny. Josh, you had suggested, you said you liked the Lady Killers, and I watched it on your recommendation back then. I didn't like it. Like I don't even think I finished it. Something about Tom Hanks doing the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy.
Yeah,
Something
he
about
did
it
do Colonel
just
Sanders.
I didn't dig. And so I remember thinking like, oh, maybe he and I don't have the same taste. But we do. But it's just we disagree on a couple of movies. But I've seen it since. It is good, especially because I also watched the original.
Yeah.
That helps quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know. Pre-code movies, by the way, are becoming my favorite. And I say they're probably they're short, they're an hour and something. Usually there's more controversial material. I saw one called Call Her Savage last night, which is Clara Bow movie, like as her career came back, all these things, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's infidelity, it's kids out of wedlock, it's there's a couple of sissies. They call it was the sissy movement or the queer movement in the 1930s before Breen killed the whole thing, and you had Gene, whatever his name is, Gene Malin, and all these people like that who were actually pushing this. It was normal for like 5 years to have a very, very effeminate gay characters in your movies, and there happens to be these two. But anyways, all that stuff that was squashed, but Call Her Savage is very good. It was just on TCM, and I only say that because I don't know how long it'll be here. It's hard to find. Right. And so if you get a chance, as far as pre-code, it's probably the most pre-code I've ever seen. Yeah. And it's good. I do recommend it. I just think it's more like a very modern movie than anything. It just happens to be really short, and it has, as they all do, a very concise ending.
I don't know if I've actually seen anything that would be considered pre-code, like off the top of my head.
It's just mostly a time period, but you can sometimes tell by the subject matter.
Yeah.
It depends on how dark. Sometimes if you're into true crime and stuff, then it doesn't seem like dark reality and things like that. Don't probably bother you too much. But something like 3 on a Match, which is phenomenal, came out like 32. All of them have the same problem, and Belle and I have talked about this. Josh and I have talked about this, but they all have the same problem where they all have this slow start. There isn't that same kind of snatchy narrative hook that's going to grab somebody. Sometimes it takes 10 to 20 minutes, and I know that's hard. I get it. That's hard to get through. I tell my wife, I tell Amy, I said, just leave me alone. Don't say anything for 20 minutes so I can invest and care about this movie. But anyways, once you get past that, some of these stories are phenomenal, especially for when they were told. So I don't know, just a recommendation.
I have a few on the shelf. I'll have to grab one out for her to give it a try.
Watch,
give you something to watch.
I have a DVD player in my room now, so I can.
Yeah. We are going analog around here.
Yeah, like I have a VHS and a beta.
Like the laser disc.
Do you even have a VCR in your house, Josh?
We should, yeah.
We do.
Do you really? Look at
two
you
of them.
I have a beta camera. I have a beta camera to play it on.
I have a beta camera. I don't have tapes for it. I don't think it works.
Yeah, I don't know if they make them anymore. Well, somebody probably makes them.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, I think it is time for
guest request.
Ooh. Love it.
The dumbest thing I do it just because Dave
we are
hates.
huge on sound effects, right? Like we,
Boing.
you know,
Wacky FM DJs. The
Yeah.
guest request. So this is our intro. This is where you now give us, Danica, you're going to give us homework that Dave and I will then pause the show. We're going to go watch it, and then we'll come back together and talk about it.
Yeah.
What are we watching? So real quick, before she spills it, she was bouncing ideas off me, and I was like, no, just you decide and you surprise us.
Anything.
Yes.
And then
Anything.
she finally said, so I went to ChatGPT and I said, I'm thinking about all these movies. What should I suggest? And he said, well, for a cinephile, do this. So now we're about to be surprised.
Yes, I have my idea.
Okay.
You're gonna watch All of Us Strangers with Paul Mescal and Andrew,
Okay.
can't remember his name now.
All of us.
That's new, right?
Yes.
That just last year?
2024.
So technically the year before last,
Yes.
but really last year.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. Yeah, I saw it like a month after it came out. So
Okay.
it's pretty
All of Us
good.
Strangers.
I need to watch it again
And-
so I have a fresh memory of it, but
Well, all three of us are gonna go watch it
yes.
together on the same couch right now.
Oh,
That's
right
how
now?
this works.
Oh, I didn't know that, so that's perfect.
No.
Virtually.
Oh,
No, no, we'll go.
And then we'll come
watch
back
it.
and comment.
We'll watch it. It is streaming on Hulu, so it should be easy to access. And then we'll plan to come back together in a week or two when you're not working, Danica, and we'll
Yeah.
sit down and talk about it.
right.
You're blowing the magic, Josh. Come on.
I know.
It's supposed to be that we're all going to leave the room. We're all in one room. We're going to go into another room and watch it and come right back in different clothes, and my hair will be different. Your beard will be longer.
beard will be
You
longer.
know?
Yeah.
You're like, that was a long movie.
All right. Well, here's where we go break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
All right, we're all back. We just watched the movie, but real quick, I want to tell anybody listening, it is time for spoilers. So if you have not watched All of Us Strangers yet, pause this, go to Hulu, Disney Plus, watch it, come back, because we are going to get into this movie. There's no way not to, because at its core, this is a film about grief, connection, and how one man's past actually shapes every choice he makes in the present.
I think I watched the wrong movie. Perfect Strangers, right? The 1980s TV show with Bronson
with
Pinchot.
Balky Bartakamus.
Ah, dang it. I knew I watched it wrong.
And Larry Appleton, cousin Larry. Wrong one, Dave.
Yeah,
No,
I think the gist of what you're saying is that I want to have a conversation with like-minded people, which is why we're here. Thank you. Welcome, Danica, again, and all those things. But I don't think there's any logical way to have a conversation that's worth having without essentially ruining any thoughts on the movie, right?
Yes, right. Because I mean, everything, it's like if having a meaningful conversation about Sixth Sense, you're going to spoil Sixth Sense.
What movie is this?
Schindler's List.
Oh, got it. I've seen that.
No, you've seen that one.
That twist ending. Can you believe the Germans lost? What? Did not see that coming, man. It did not see it coming.
So, Danica, can you remind us, like, what was your why? Why did you pick All of Us Strangers?
Because it's one of the movies that I like a lot, and the meaning behind all of it, and I like that style of movie where it's kind of like quiet, a little bit like kind of like dark, and has a lot of meaning and
a whole lot of depression.
Subtle, a lot of subtext,
sad.
a lot of
that you have to actually watch it and pay attention to understand what's happening.
This is not a play on your phone, be sidetracked and watch this movie.
Don't watch it at a gas station in the little screen.
On the little gas station screen.
Although some of the sex scenes might have been weird if you're pumping gas and it's you know. But anyways, I digress.
Chest licking.
Yeah. So I know I had heard of this movie. I had not watched it, so thank you, Danica, for bringing it to us. I have a lot of thoughts on the movie. I liked it a lot.
I really did enjoy it.
and I'm gonna say this in the kindest possible way, but I did read one review which I thought just fit how, and it was said beautifully boring, which to me,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
it's not, it's in the most loving way I could possibly say. I
Right.
appreciated
Yeah.
that review, but
Sure.
great performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott. Andrew
And
Yes.
not
Scott.
Adam Scott, not Adam Scott from Parks and Rec and
No.
Severance.
Different
Andrew
guy.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you,
No
Jesse.
relation.
Yeah, for that one. But anyways, I know him from Fleabag and the new Knives Out.
Yeah.
Great actor. Got a lot going on for him. He's gonna probably be in a lot of stuff. I don't really know
Yes.
Paul Mescal. Like it's just,
No.
I've seen him around, but I don't really know him
Yeah.
from stuff.
Like he's popping up more and more, but not in things that I've actually seen. Like he's in Gladiator 2. I
Mhm.
haven't watched Gladiator 2. Like he pops up a lot, but not in anything that kind of lands within my
Yeah.
realm.
He
I
does a
can't.
lot more of the like romancy kind of stuff, and he's done the Normal People TV show is really good.
Okay. I don't
Okay.
even know what that is. What is that?
I can't remember the girl's name, but it's based off of a book by Sally Rooney, I'm pretty sure. And it's just about like they meet in high school and then they have kind of like an on and off again relationship through college and stuff. But
Mhm.
he's kind of embarrassed of her
Oh, okay.
but
Like
it's
every
good.
ex-girlfriend to me,
Yeah.
it's the same. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But it's really good. And they
Right.
explore like a lot of like family and relationships, and he's really good in it. It's a very similar role for him though as this movie.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It's
All
kind of
right.
playing type, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's okay. So it's a 2020 TV show, Normal
Yeah.
People, and only 12 episodes. So that's an easy
Yeah.
binge.
American?
No,
British.
it's
No, it's
British.
got to
Yeah.
be British, right?
Yeah, it's British.
That's what I figured.
He is, and he's in the movie Chloe Zhao movie Hamnet
Yeah.
Yeah.
that got nominated for a bunch of award love. So he's definitely in some things that I want to see. I just haven't, because he's also in the A24 movie After Sun,
Yes, that
which
one's
I
good
haven't
too.
seen. Danica tells me I'd love it, so I gotta take the time to
Okay.
actually watch it. But
I sound like I got
he's-
more homework to do. I gotta watch all these.
right, and he is doing he's playing Paul McCartney
Yes,
in
in
the
the
4
new.
different Beatles movies that
The
they have.
what now?
There's this series of Beatles movies they're making concurrently. They're doing
Who
a
are the Beatles?
biopic of all. They look like, no, you know them. They look like Justin Bieber, but it's 4
Oh.
of them in a band.
Are they just copying his
They're
style?
just
I get
copying
it.
his style.
Okay.
Exactly.
it.
You know him.
I didn't know they're doing
Yeah.
biopics.
They're
On,
doing a series. It's all 4 being filmed concurrently. Ringo, George, Paul, and John, and Mescal is playing Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ringo's gonna be Barry Keoghan.
Yeah,
Really?
and he's got the right nose. He's got
Yeah.
the right nose.
yeah, that's
does.
fitting. He's a good actor too.
Yeah.
I don't remember who Joseph Quinn, who I'm not familiar with, is
He's in
playing George Harrison.
Stranger Things
Oh, see, there you go.
after you stopped watching.
After
What was that?
Yeah.
Halfway through season 1? That about when he
I
started showing up?
I
I'm
watched
just kidding.
all of the first 2 seasons. No,
Did
so
you?
before we get into All of Us Strangers, let me defend myself from the hate. No, I'm watching Stranger Things. I watched all of season 1. I watched all of season 2. The last episode of season 2, the character of Bob, played by Sean Astin, is unceremoniously killed. I got pissed and I
Spoiler
refused
alert.
to watch it. Because they built him up as the new love interest for Winona Ryder's character, and you
Okay.
really like him, and then out of nowhere he's dead, gone. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
nope, I'm good, I'm out.
I appreciated Stranger Things. I really
Yeah.
liked it from the beginning, like everybody did. I think mostly, I don't even think I finished the first season. It gets
Oh.
monstery, and it wasn't for me. It's like
Yeah.
Walking Dead. I watched the first
No,
few seasons.
Yeah,
At some
I don't
point,
do
there's
Walking
something.
Dead.
Yeah,
so
it pushed me away.
I get
For me.
why it's so popular. But it is much
Nostalgia.
more
Look at Pork Chop Pete.
Pork Chop
His
Pete, that's
entire
everything he
industry
does.
is
Yeah.
built on just mentioning stuff from our childhood,
Mhm.
and that's
Yeah,
you know what this is.
absolutely. But I think that it works better. Stranger Things works better for people who are a little more into Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings. If you are a little bit more into the sci-fi side of things, you're going to like it a lot more than someone like me who I'm not. And I appreciate it. I loved the in jokes and the references, but yeah. Anyways, let's talk about this. Andrew Scott, you mentioned Paul Mescal. There's two other character. There's only two other characters in
Yeah.
this whole movie, right? Um, the young man, I can't remember his name, played that Billy Elliot. Uh,
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah.
But it's because I selfishly absolutely loved the TV show Turn, which is
Yeah.
about the spies in the American Revolution. It was done so well. I'm a huge fan. I talk about it a lot, but I like him because he's the lead in that. You're the one who pointed out some like Romper Stomper. Is that what it is? No, what's the one that he's
Oh,
in that you Skin?
Skin.
Skin. And I watched that after, and so I was like, oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
kind of an asshole in this, but anywho, but I like Jamie Bell. I thought he was great.
And Claire
With his
Foy
cute
as
little
the
mustache.
mom.
Yeah.
Claire
Yeah.
Foy is really good as the mom.
Yeah.
But so those are the roles. But the whole idea of this movie, it starts off, he's a screenwriter. He's obviously trying to write something that takes place at this time in his life when
Can I go back just a second?
Yes.
Doesn't it start off with him being woken up to a fire alarm?
Yes.
So it starts off with the fire alarm. He's in what we find out is like a high-rise building. He looks in the hallway. There's nobody out there. He goes down. He goes outside, and he's the only person standing across the street. And this fire alarm's going off at this very large building across the street. He looks across the street, looks up, sees one window with somebody in it, and they wave at each other.
Yeah,
I only say that because that's important to my whole theory of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so then he goes back in the building, and then they meet.
Harry's there. He's drunk, holding that bottle of whiskey. And then he goes back up to his apartment, and Harry comes up to his apartment, and he does his little drunk, I saw you looking at me. Gives him the
flirtatious
smolder.
eyes.
Gives him the smolder. But Adam kind of is like, he's a little gun shy, pushes him away, says, thanks, but no, I'm good. And that plants the seed for what's going to happen the rest of the movie, right?
I think at that point, then doesn't he sit down and he starts writing?
And that's when
screenplay.
He's back in his flat. He's working on his screenplay, and he basically just writes that one line about being whatever it says in his childhood home, 1987. So we know that something happened in 1987 that's affecting him, that he has to get out.
And he's looking at old pictures.
The old pictures and old records, his vinyl collection. And then he, on some kind of impulse, I guess, he goes to the suburbs, to that house, and he's looking, and then suddenly
it looked like he had writer's block to me. Like it looked like as he stopped, the cursor's just blinking, and then he
didn't know what to write anymore.
And so I think he's not only trying to spurn some memories and some feelings and stuff, but so I imagine he goes out to check out where he grew up. It looks like, because this picture he's looking out of a suburban house in London, outside of, I don't even know what city it was or town, village it was, but that he looks and finds that house, and
and that's where the first kind of supernaturally, I guess, event occurs, right?
But you don't really realize it's supernatural yet.
No, but because all of a sudden it's a little jarring to see him interacting with his mom and dad, because it's his mom and dad, but they appear to be the same age, of similar age, so it doesn't make sense to us yet, but we don't know anything yet. So it's a little jarring. You're watching him interact. He calls them mom and dad, and they have their conversation. They ask about his life, and he starts talking about all of his grief and how hard his life has been, and then finally promises to return. But that was when I was watching that part, and I was like, man, this is weird. I was uncomfortable, and it was supposed to be, but it was just this weird dynamic, because I knew that Jamie Bell was younger, and I knew Claire Foy was younger. I was like, how, what?
Well, you even for a second were like, but they're so much younger than him.
Because I didn't know, and I'm going on the ride. I didn't know anything. I'm letting the story tell me.
Yeah.
So that was really, So that's a little jarring, and then that ends though, and then is where the story, the only time the story has any kind of fast-paced stuff is coming up, right? When he reconnects with Harry, right, for the first time.
Yeah.
So he's back at the apartments. They see each
Sober.
other. This
I don't
time,
think he sober, I believe, yeah, right?
yeah,
As far as I
they
could
run
tell.
into each other in the lift, because in England they don't have elevators, they have lifts. And he invites him into his flat because they don't have
Yep.
apartments, they have flat. Anyway, and that's where their intimate relationship begins. But
Yeah.
Did
so
you
this is where it could have gotten uncomfortable because I watched this with Danica.
that was
Yeah.
actually gonna be my question.
I
Is it hard to watch any sex scene? Mind you, it is a homosexual sex scene, which doesn't bother me.
yeah.
Yeah, it does it watching any sort of a sex scene as father and daughter, that's got to be very uncomfortable. I would
I,
imagine, but you're both mature adults, so just
yeah,
Yeah.
wondering.
I it wasn't really, most of them were fine because 'cause they're not the most graphic, the ones that you could see, but I forgot about the laying down chest licking thing.
Yeah,
That one, that did make me a little, I was like, "Oh, that's"
and
as
so
soon as they panned to it, I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, I remember what's about to happen, and this is
yeah,
gonna be
and
weird."
from
right.
on the dad side, this did not make me uncomfortable because there was nothing um romantic for me about it. Like it was not it was just it was interesting and it was part of a dramatic story. This was not titillating
Yeah.
sex, right?
Okay.
So it's not like I was watching Exit to Eden with my
Yeah,
daughter. um
just curious.
but no, so because one of the movies when we invited Danica on, one of the movies she thought about doing was Call Me by Your Name, and that one she was a little uncomfortable. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I could watch that with my dad and talk about that with my dad.
I
And I
have
Yeah.
get
yet to
it.
see it, so just
Yeah.
a good
I
excuse if I
won't.
watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, they begin their relationship. They open up about their past. This is where we start to find out the truth about his parents and what
They are
happened,
dead.
that
Yeah.
And
they're dead, and he was raised by his mom's
Yeah.
Paul
mom.
Mescal's family, I think they started the conversation opening up about queer,
Mhm.
Yeah, and that
gay.
he's
Yeah,
not really, yeah, they don't talk much because they're not super accepting of who
accepting.
he is and the lifestyle he
Yeah,
lives.
and you mentioned something right there, Dave, that I really appreciated. They were talking about how, he is how why Paul Mescal's character likes uses the word queer, and how that's a hard word for Andrew because that really illustrates
Shows
their age
age
difference.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I really liked
Generationally.
how that really told me that this is a May December romance, right? The older younger kind of thing. So I really appreciated that. And then when they cut to now, how him with I guess the spirits of his parents, telling them that he's gay and
Yeah,
how
following that, I think he because the main character, Andrew Scott, never had a chance to come out to his parents
yeah, because he was
because
young. He was just
they
And
died.
he didn't even accept that he was gay before that they
right.
died.
Yeah,
Right.
because what
And
he was 10 or 12 years old or whatever
Yeah.
yeah.
when they
And
died.
so I think the idea is that he hears Paul Mescal talk about it. And as an audience member, I think you're supposed to feel like he regrets not having that opportunity to at least come
Right.
out and be honest with his
Mhm.
parents or himself or both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he goes back out, same train out to the same suburban house, and it's only his mom,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yes.
I don't know what it's like to come out, but I imagine some places, some houses is difficult.
Sure.
I imagine some houses it's not as difficult. This is probably somewhere in the middle, uncomfortable but not hostile, which I
Yeah.
appreciated because I think that's how most families would. I don't want to say take the news. That's not what it is, but
No.
receive information about somebody
Yeah.
There
being
you go.
open and honest about their sexuality.
Yeah.
And so he tells his mom it's just her. She's taken aback, and she uses the same logic I've heard from a lot of people who have come out to their families and stuff, which is always more concerned with how society sees them
Right.
of course, the how are you gonna have kids? We can have kids, and how can you get married? We can get married. All those kind of theories. But he's also catching her up to show the progress.
Yeah,
Of
because
the
of everything she's missed.
in 1987, the world she knew was different. He couldn't get a kid. He couldn't get married.
Yeah. And he's telling her that society's more accepting, everything else, and it is, but it's
It
still
is and isn't.
still far from
Right.
perfect.
Yes.
You know. So, anyways, I appreciated all of that,
Yeah,
and the way they
the
handled it.
reveal, and then because it's intercut, right? It's they go back and forth between him with Adam and Harry together, and then they go back to mom, and then they go to Adam and Harry, and then they go to dad. And when he's talking to his dad, when he reveals this was the most emotional part for me, when he reveals to his dad that I was bullied and you didn't do anything,
and you heard me crying, and you didn't even come and console me.
Come and check on me.
And his dad says, "I heard you crying." Like,
I heard
it wasn't even Andrew Scott saying. So again, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but to this point, I was talking to Mel about this earlier, which is that let's just assume that he's having all of these memories and everything else, and he's fabricating. He's playing both sides of this conversation.
This is how he perceived.
So in his mind, he's convinced his dad knows he was crying and chose to let him cry. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's not in, you know what I mean? Like, so that's his version of it. And it's all highly possible his dad's like, "Oh, I didn't hear you crying. I thought you were laughing." We don't know. But in his mind, his dad was just letting, But anyways, I thought that was interesting.
But he also, there's something like he reconciles with it. I think Adam reconciles with it because his dad then shortly after, further down the movie, his dad becomes accepting of it. He's okay with it. They actually meet Harry and they like Harry. So he ends up being.
And he does it when Adam, right? That's his name in it.
Yeah.
Starts crying in the scene with his dad. His dad finally consoles him and gives him the hug that he always needed his dad to come in and give him. Yeah.
I was crying too. That was the scene that got me.
Super emotional.
Yeah.
Any father-son nonsense just does it, you know.
Yeah, and then right after all of this, he works through his past grief, never being able to share with his parents, and his connection with Harry. Now he brings Harry to the house, and this is where you start to realize that something's not okay with Adam, I think.
Well, so there was the rave before this.
Yeah,
am I
the
correct?
rave and everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So see, I was doing it in my head. I forgot to put the rave in here.
Yes.
And the reason, so basically,
which is the only action portion of the movie.
He's Adam. I'm just gonna call him Andrew Scott because I have terrible character names. I forget. He goes out, tells his mom. She accepts it begrudgingly, but still loves him, hugs him. He leaves. He comes back, talks to just his dad. His dad says she'll come around. All these things. I think he goes back another time, and it's both of them, and it's cordial or whatever it is. I don't remember what happens. But then there's a whole chunk that's a focus on kind of like almost like a montage of the relationship and Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott, right? Where it seems like there's days happening there. I think different clothes and.
It's because when he finally has that conversation with his parents, he goes back to the apartments and they run into each other in the lift and go back to Andrew Scott's apartment together. And they basically decide that they're going to begin hanging out. They want to be open. They don't want to keep being confined to just themselves because I think that with the beautifully boring, I think it's so boring because they're showing the loneliness and how bored they are at the beginning, and then it picks up with the rave and everything before it.
And you're right. It does go back and forth. It's just mom. It's just dad. It's both, and then it's both of them because they're doing that thing that he remembers, decorating the Christmas tree.
Yes,
well, that's right. Yeah,
a
good pleasant memory.
Yeah,
but with them now, he's been honest with them in his mind,
and that really awkward emotional scene where he's laying in bed, he climbs in bed between his parents and he's talking to his mom, and then all of a sudden Harry's laying next to him with his mom and him, and all of that's happening, and he goes because he has his mental episode at the rave
on drugs.
Yes.
Yes.
But because how else do we connect to our past than through help with hallucinogens.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah, that's very true. So anyways, they're out at a rave, and that's the only time we see a substantial amount of people.
Yeah,
I think the whole movie is about loneliness. I think that's a good
Yeah.
point, Danica,
absolutely.
which is the entire thing spoke to me about being lonely and feeling
Yeah.
alone and all those things in a good way and a bad way. And then you go to this overly saturated place where there's just 1,000 sweaty people dancing
Yeah.
around having a great
And you
time. It's
still feel alone.
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little hint of maybe some jealousy because he sees Paul Mescal talking to another guy,
Yeah.
and right before, as he's kind of spiraling in there, and it is really sweaty, it's
Yeah.
really loud, and you see him kind of spiraling.
Yeah.
Um, and
And
then they go through all that stuff, but the next part really kind of wrecks me when his parents when he's sitting down with his parents and they tell him to not come back,
yeah.
Yeah.
that he needs to
Well,
move on.
isn't that he brought he brought Paul Mescal out,
Yeah.
and the house is for the first time dark,
Yeah,
right? There's
Mhm.
no
yeah,
lights on
Yeah.
inside.
nothing there.
It's the same house, and he's banging
Mhm.
on the windows and the doors,
Yeah,
right?
and he's making a noise, there's no trace. Harry's like, "Man, we shouldn't be
Getting
here.
scared
What's
and
going
gut
on?"
wants to
Yeah,
leave. Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
Adam sees just the really faint image of his mom in there, so he really
Which
believes.
I didn't think that was them. It did not. I don't think those were his parents. They looked
Yeah.
different than they had,
Yeah,
even though you don't see much of them. I didn't
Mhm.
pause it,
and
but
then
it looked
in
like a
right.
different couple of people, you know?
But then
Yeah.
he breaks the window, he's confused, he's obviously having another break,
Yeah, like when I
and
used to bang on my weed dealer's door in the middle of the night, he'd freak him
yeah,
out, man. And
bang,
he'd be like,
bang, bang.
That's the neighbor's house. You're at the wrong
Yeah.
house."
Wrong house, bro. I'm across the street, bro. Um,
But, so anyways, at
yeah.
that point, and I appreciated, Paul Mescal's character because he loves Andrew Scott. He's trying to support him, and at
Mhm.
this point, it's almost like I think he's having a realization that something's happening. He's having a mental
Yeah.
breakdown, and that's weird. If you've ever been in a situation where you're with somebody and you're like, I don't.
Like,
This is not
Yeah.
normal. Like there's a switch. A mental episode that's happening in front of me, and especially for somebody you love.
yeah.
Yeah.
Freaky
Yeah,
stuff.
and his parents recognize that, visiting them is holding him back. He's not able to fully embrace his new relationship, his
Yeah.
world. It's probably they don't say this, but it's what's causing his writer's block. He's stuck in this moment in time. It's holding back. So they take him to that restaurant, and he lies to them about the nature of their deaths, and he
Can I
takes the burden himself. Go ahead.
Before this, um, he had also, for the first time, described everything that had happened the night they
They
died in
die.
a car accident, and he told all this to Paul Mescal.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the first time as an audience, we're also hearing, he's like,
This
I went around and looked for the eyeball, like she
yeah.
was still alive for a couple of days.
Mhm.
My grandmother didn't want me to see her, or something like that. And like,
Yeah. He
so
never got to say goodbye to her because of his grandma.
right. So he's almost like in, if you're looking at it in the sense of somebody with writer's block, he's for the first time coming to terms with what's stuck in his head as far
What's
as a
stuck in
memory
it.
too.
Yeah.
He's just describing it to the Paul Mescal character.
Yeah. And interspersed throughout, I really like how they used him being on the train, and where another quiet place where he's all alone and he gets lost in his thoughts, and that's what
Yeah,
takes him on these places.
it's
All
true.
of these very public but isolated moments throughout the movie.
Right. His own
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
Um so uh he's dealing with all those things, and then I think there's multiple different versions of what I think maybe how to perceive this movie. One of them is just a writer stuck with writer's block, and this is everything is happening up in his head, all those kind of
Yeah.
things, and that just as he's describing these things to another person, being
Mhm.
Paul Mescal, is what he needs to get past them in his head and actually
Yeah.
write them out. I don't know. What
Yeah.
do you guys think?
Well, so the hard that makes sense until we get to the ending of the movie, when he walks into Harry's apartment, his flat.
That's the very end.
That is the
So
very end.
I know.
Right.
So let's go back to the restaurant because I do think it's
Yeah.
pivotal,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
is he's described to Paul Mescal. I think his mom was choking, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she does
Yeah.
the horrific way that they both died, the eyeball, all that stuff. And then he's all of a sudden, I think his parents say, you can't come see us anymore. This is the last time. And then they go to the mall, which that was the strangest thing to me. I mean, if they just appeared at a restaurant, I'd be okay. But it seemed weird they would just walk through the mall. But it's a memory of a childhood going to a favorite restaurant with his family, right? And it's an American restaurant, which is hilarious. And they order 3 like belly busters or whatever it is, and the guy's like, "That's a lot of food," and it's because we're American, and so huge servings apparently,
big old servings.
Anyways, at that point, they're saying you can't see us anymore. You got to move on. And then his parents, in the order that they die, or in the story that he told Paul Mescal, are having these experiences, right? Like, the dad is all of a sudden just, I think, fades away, and then the mom is like, "I can't see. Why can't I see? What happened to my eye?" Starts choking or whatever it is. Like, anyways, I think that's an important part because that feeds into his thing. How he's describing it and how he's dealing with the memories he has in his head, and not even his memories, but memories of what he's heard because he wasn't there. He wasn't in the car. He just read the police report or heard from his grandma what happened,
or whatever it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, and it's all about, I think it's all about him choosing to just remember what he really remembers rather than remembering what he was told. Remember the love that he did receive from his parents, not this horrific end that he was told about that he didn't experience, because now it's just his imagination. And Dave, you and I say it all the time, our imagination is much darker, much more grisly than anything we can show on screen.
It's a mess.
So Andrew Scott, or Adam, has that same thing going on. You tell him something and he's gonna put it into whatever.
Is that why I keep thinking Adam Scott? Because his character's name is Adam.
His name is Adam.
Yeah.
Adam and Harry.
He's not the guy from Parks and Rec, though.
But not the guy from Parks and Rec.
Okay, dang it. Okay, sorry.
Same but different.
Yeah.
But it is as Adam is saying goodbye, and he has the meal, his parents begin to vanish, and so their story is complete, right? That's him reconciling everything at that restaurant.
Yeah.
Cleans up that whole storyline. So now they can disappear. And
even with, wasn't it when he got in bed with them and so was sleeping in between them, and that was the night they died, they left to go to a party or something? Isn't that right?
Yes. Yeah, because they left him in his room and were like saying goodbye to him.
Yeah.
And then later on he can't sleep, so he goes into his mother's room.
Which is what happens in the movie, like somewhere in that, I think before he told Paul Mescal. Sorry, I think they show that scene, something like that.
Like it's one of the first things that happens during that weird intercutting where they bounce between the mom, the dad with Harry, the mom, then Harry and Boat. Like everybody's bouncing around. Yeah. Because he's in his drug-induced spiral.
Yes.
Right. Wow. What was it that at some point, and maybe you guys would remember, so he goes back, I think, to his apartment. Is there something that triggers him to go down to Paul Mescal's apartment? And had we never seen Paul Mescal's apartment to that point?
So we had not.
We had never seen it. And I took it as he gets home and he's going to the lift and he stops and he thinks, like, I've never been there. Let me go. Maybe I'll go start the conversation today. Because up to this point, Harry has always been the one to go to Adam. Adam's never reached out to Harry. That's how I read it. And
isn't that what would have been their first interaction following the meltdown or the problem with him banging on the door? Like, did they have a scene together after that, Danika? Do you remember?
Yeah, because they go back after the whole meltdown and he because he goes in and has the talk with his parents that you can't see us anymore, and then he goes back and I don't remember how they end up meeting, but they meet up and they have the conversation of why he went so crazy and what it was, and he's like, "It scared me," and
and he starts to cry and break down, and Paul Mescal
and that's
consoles
when
him.
he gives Andrew Scott's character a bath and, like, they
Oh, that's
comfort
right.
and console each other.
Scene.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a nice bath?
Yes.
You know, like,
and who doesn't want a nice bath from Paul Mescal? Come on.
Yeah.
But this is, so he's back. He's never instigated contact with Harry, so he goes to Harry's flat.
It's also because the mom at the end of their, like, that we need to stop talking says, like, "I think Harry's a good person, and it's clear he loves you, like, you need to go to him and be with him, and he's the person who can help you with losing us completely."
Right. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
And then he however I don't even remember how he gets in, like, because he just knocks, no one answers. He opens the door or whatever. He ends up he gets into the apartment. He makes that face, so we know the apartment smells. We know it's a mess. And then
alcohol all over.
Yeah. And we find Harry dead.
Or there were drugs too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's obviously the skin, because I think you only really see like the arm and the side of the body.
Bloody and
and he's obviously bloated, so it's been a little while.
Yeah, he walks into the bathroom slowly, walking through this smelly, creepy kind of apartment, and then I think the shot is low enough where you're just seeing
just
a portion of what looks like a dead body,
just enough
right?
to see, just enough to tell that it's a decomposed.
And I think you see like his ring that you're used to seeing like randomly on his hand.
They call it an identifier, something that you can identify. Hey, I know those shoes. The main guy was wearing those shoes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then Harry, and then he comes out. He's starting to have a breakdown, and then he sees Harry again, and Harry tells him that, "I came to you, I was lonely, and you pushed me away, and this is what happened."
And he goes, "I was scared." All these things.
He gives him the whole. So now Adam or Andrew has to reconcile with the fact that everything we just saw was in his head.
Yeah.
Sure. Is it?
Yes, because he died the night of the fire alarm.
Right. The Paul Mescal.
Yeah. Harry died that night.
I just think you can interpret it so many ways, and that could definitely be one of them, because why else is the fire alarm there? But he doesn't look like he died in a fire.
Yeah.
No, he died the night of the fire alarm.
Yeah.
He died
that's why he
later
didn't.
That night.
Okay.
The fire alarm happens. They make eye contact. Then he comes up to Andrew Scott's room. He makes the move. Andrew pushes him away. He goes back downstairs and drugs himself to death. He ODs.
Yeah, overdoses and possibly commits suicide. I mean, there's some blood in the situation. There are obviously theories out there that they're both dead, right? And that they both died in this fire, and that basically, let's say Paul Mescal died first of an overdose, probably, let's just say, and so that's why he doesn't like burnt and bloated or whatever. But they both die in this fire. That's why they're the only ones in the building. All of these things, and it's him. Basically, they always say your life flashes before your eyes. Andrew Scott is flashing everything, all these memories through his eyes and things like that, and almost in that not heaven help us, like the angel, defending your life kind of, where the person is going to heaven and they're in purgatory or whatever, like this is their purgatory, and they're interacting with each other because they're basically in the same millisecond.
So you have to decide that either Adam is also dead, or this is the laying down together with that really cool lifting shot and turning into the stars in space and everything. That's him. You have Adam releasing his grief and letting it all go.
Yeah.
Or yes. Yeah. So but I think it's basically that grief is this conversation that never ends.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you always have to deal with it, right?
What's your take, Danika?
think that they're probably both dead because in the ending scene when they're talking and Harry like starts saying that I'm in there, aren't I? Like that my body's in there and he doesn't want to see it and he's afraid of it. And then you see like the aura around both of
Glow.
them and like they're
Yeah.
both glowing and then
Yeah.
it pans to them back in Andrew Scott's bed and
Yeah.
going and floating up.
Mhm.
And I think that
Yeah.
means that they're both dead.
And yeah, I think see, and I take it that it was Harry is dead and Adam, this is all happening as Adam is dying.
Yeah.
That this is the last things that this is that white light,
light
seeing your
flashing,
life flashing
Yeah.
before your eyes. This is what he's losing as he dies.
Yeah.
What
And I just think the only thing that I get confused by is that there should have been I feel like the fire alarm scene is supposed to be like their final day, but it shows it as like their first meeting. So it's like confusing of if their relationship even ever happened or if it was all a figment of his imagination because he was so lonely.
that's what I think. I think it was a figment.
Yeah.
Or there's always the theory that Jamie Bell, who played the dad, this is just his psychological
Yeah.
breakdown and none of these people exist.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know if that theory's out there. I may not put it out there though.
So I think what this is Claire Foy wishing that this was her family and how it
It's
turned
just Claire Foy
Yeah.
reading a novel, and this is just her.
She was reading a book.
It's like this is a crazy book.
Actually,
Yeah.
what it really was there's a 7-year-old boy named Timmy in a hospital bed, and this is all happening in his coma.
That's exactly right. No,
What,
none of that.
what was that? What was that? Saint Elsewhere? Isn't that how? Was it what was the movie with or the TV show we just talked about Denzel Washington?
Yeah, this Saint Elsewhere.
Yeah,
right?
Saint Elsewhere ends as the whole thing was in a little boy's coma.
I was just about to watch that last episode today. You ruined it.
Ruined it.
This 45-year-old show, and I finally get around to watching it, and Bell ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, because you were actually going to watch a Howie Mandel show. Come on, give me a break.
But yeah, I appreciate. It's open to interpretation. I think the underlying theme, which is the most recognizable, is about grief and coming to terms with loss and grief and your own memories that maybe you're not processing. No matter what, that's always there, and I think that part of it is beautiful and fantastic. Essentially, because do they show anything in this movie that wouldn't have been a memory? I guess, does that make sense? Like, they don't show places he didn't go as a kid in his home. He doesn't like all of a sudden go to some new place. They go to a restaurant. They walk through the mall.
All places.
A mall. But anyway, so like all these things are probably in my mind, in his mind. So yeah, that's what I think. I think it's his life flashing before his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because even the stuff that would have been wishful thinking, I guess, is all take place in his own apartment.
You mean the sex?
I was thinking about
the meeting.
The bath.
Yeah, he's like, I haven't had a shower in
all
months.
of the whole relationship with Harry takes place at the rave and in his apartment.
Yeah.
Yes. So is the rave a memory?
I'm thinking that it was the only time that he allowed himself to be gay, maybe, and he went.
And I think it's also what threw him into because you could tell that Harry was extremely lonely the entire movie. It was very obvious, but Andrew Scott was more like he's just a writer. He keeps to himself. He's kind of quiet, and then the rave hits, and I think he sees Harry interacting with other people and he couldn't figure out how to interact with anybody in that entire room, and then that's where he spiraled out of control and needed to go be with his parents and maybe find comfort in them.
Yeah, like the memories were haunting him and he had to kind of okay, I can see that. So he's not just a blocked writer just sitting there making all this stuff up, because that intro is a
Will
great
Ferrell in Stranger Than Fiction.
Is it a misdirect, I guess?
Yeah, or did his life really end in 1987?
Maybe he died with his parents.
Maybe he was writing when he died.
Yeah.
But then he heard the fire alarm. Maybe he didn't hear the fire alarm.
Yeah.
Maybe there was no fire alarm.
Maybe we just watched 90 minutes of nothing. No,
I don't know. I've never seen the movie, so it sounds good though.
No, I did. I really enjoyed it. I don't know that it would never have been something I would have watched if not told to me in our guest request sort of way that we do things here, which I thought was
Yeah.
great. I would definitely rate it fairly high, 3.5, 4 out of 5, somewhere in there. Yeah, it was a really well done movie, wonderfully acted, very sad, very emotional. Um, but yeah, I thought it was really good. What did you think, Dave?
Yeah, I did 3.5, maybe probably closer to a 4. I don't know if I can give it a 4 out of 5. But that doesn't matter. What does my opinion matter? But I the best part of this whole thing is it brought Danica on the show.
Yeah,
So to me, it's just an
it
amazing
was great.
opportunity to talk to Danica. Yeah, we get two bells,
Mhm.
2 bells for the price of one. But
That's
yeah,
way too
I
much.
I don't think I would have watched it without somebody recommending it, but that's part of the
Right.
best thing about having anybody recommend something is
Yeah.
Mhm.
to check
Yeah,
something out.
like
If I didn't have this, I'm sorry to interrupt you. If I didn't
mhm,
have this to analyze it and go through it like we just did, I would have enjoyed it less. If I was
Yeah.
just left with the, well, now what? Because I think I even Googled, and again, I didn't have a chance to do a second watch, which would
no,
have
yeah,
probably been, but I don't know. It's
beneficial.
beautifully boring, but I don't know if I can do
Right,
it
yes,
twice in a week or
sure.
2 weeks. But I did Google, like, what are the theories of this? What are the things?
Yes.
Because I
Yeah.
knew what I was thinking, but I was like, and I needed like minds to kind of go through it step by step, like we did.
Yeah.
If we didn't have this and we didn't get Danica's opinion, I didn't get your opinion,
Mhm.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, no, I think that's it. So
Well, it's
you
what does Danica say? What do you?
yeah,
What do you?
Danica, before we get into our hot seat
Mm-hmm.
and make you answer a bunch of questions,
What do you think?
how would you rate this movie? What do you think?
I would rate it probably a 4, 4.5, because
Okay.
I think it's a really well-made movie. I think it's really good to watch. I think because I think that the director, I don't know who the director is, but the way that it
Yeah.
goes, I
No,
feel like they were trying to make it up for interpretation and up
yeah.
for like what the person watching feels in their life and can find something with the characters to like
Yeah.
I understand that about Andrew Scott's character. I feel this with Paul Mescal, especially with like them both having very like Harry's not dealing with grief the way that Andrew Scott's character is. His is clearly like he's just alone because he doesn't have his family. He has his alcohol and drug problems. And so I think it's just like very good to like watch and see, and I think that they did a really good job just not like going full supernatural, because I think if they did that I wouldn't have liked it, but
Right.
like just be like the conversation with his parents and everything I think is just cool to watch, and even though it could never happen, it's like an interesting thing to see. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I asked Mel because as I was processing chickens a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to get my head in the right space, and so we were talking about it, and she said it's a good love story, and I don't think it is. I think it's a terrible. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a love story at all.
No.
I think, and it made me think, and it's a little sidetrack, but like with something like Brokeback Mountain, people used to say that also. I don't think that's a
Yeah.
love story, and it
No, it's
doesn't. I don't care if
tragic.
it's two men. I honestly think the relationship on Modern Family with the two gay guys,
Yeah.
I think that's more of a love story
Yeah.
than two people who are in
No.
lust or having a
yeah,
Yeah.
physical relationship, and that's what
yeah,
this. They're lonely. There's a physical component, even if you forget everything else and you just take their relationship as it is. I don't know if that's love. It's compassion. It's concern. It's all
Yeah.
those things. But
Yeah, and I think we would have had to see so the ending would have had to be different. Obviously, Harry would have to be alive, and we'd have to see what their relationship becomes.
yeah,
Because their relationship obviously ends at that moment, you can't call it a love story.
no,
It was 3
what
days.
what
yeah,
if we pulled all the way back and it's just some kid in a confessional with the priest? He's just telling him this whole story.
This is
Just
it.
kidding. I don't know why I thought
No,
of that. I was gonna say it
no,
was the
so
priest having this confession, but that
the
doesn't make any sense.
director is a gentleman by the name of Andrew Haig.
Oh yeah.
I don't
yeah,
know anything else he's really done,
yeah,
but he's got a few things coming up. Um, so we'll see what he does. Hopefully he
yeah,
goes a little less depressing. Equally beautiful, but not as boring. You know what I mean?
My first thought, to be honest, right after was I thought it's a little self-indulgent for the filmmaker, to be honest. And that's not not in a full tree of life way. That's extremely in my
Yeah.
mind self-indulgent, but it's kind of I don't want to say this the wrong way because I think it's beautifully done. I think it's really all those things, but as if a better, like a David Fincher or a better director who with more experience maybe could have produced again a more consistent not story, but their message, their theme could have come across a little bit more clearly. But then I don't know because I haven't watched the interviews or anything. This might be what Andrew hate, right? This might be 100%. He just wants people to have this
This
discussion and
conversation.
intentionally left it
Yeah.
vague. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who
I'm just
knows?
saying that was my first
Mhm.
thought.
Yeah. He got nominated for a bunch of BAFTAs, which is the British version of the Oscars. So the Brits
They
really like this movie.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but they
I
they
liked it.
also
I
they
don't
also
want to
like
make it sound
they
like I
also
didn't like
like
it.
blood pudding, so there's no accounting for taste. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I think it's like is like the beginning of their love story, but then it just ends really
yeah,
abruptly. Like,
and
because they were definitely comfortable with each other, comfortable opening up, and then obviously it was a very sexual relationship from the beginning.
yeah,
But I think that if they didn't at least one of them die, I think it could have ended in love because it was clear they had care for each other.
Yeah,
But it's a very sad, depressing love
yeah.
story.
right.
It's the early moments in their
Yeah.
relation,
Yeah.
quote unquote relationship. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Danica, next up, before we finish up, the last thing we like to do is this thing called the hot seat. I'm not going to play the silly sound effect. I'm
Why
phasing it out.
not?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I hate when you do it, so it's all right.
no, I'm doing it now.
We don't do sound effects, but go ahead.
Welcome to the hot seat.
See, because that's cheesy, and
It's
that's not
loud
who
and
we are.
cheesy, yeah.
And that's not who we are. I'm actually planning on deleting it today.
Boy, a
Yeah.
bunch of sound effects
So,
and
but what
where's
it
our
is
keyboard, our soundboard?
I I should get this up every time I go ding 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 ding. You couldn't even see that, could you?
Yeah,
You
I saw it.
could, a
Okay,
little bit.
a little bit. Anyway,
It looks like a little kid's DJ mixer.
it is. It is. It's the baby version. It's Barrett's
little,
version. All
little
right.
Tykes
So
DJ setup.
what this is, Danica, is I'm going to ask you 10 just random questions. Don't think too long about it. Just something real quick. So first, what movie do you love that everyone else says is bad?
That everyone says is bad. I feel like I don't watch bad movies. Um, I don't know. What is something you told me you didn't like?
Anything with Adam Sandler?
I don't watch Adam Sandler either, though.
You guys used to watch bedtime stories all the time.
I did, but I don't love that movie. I don't know. I feel like I just watch good movies.
Yeah.
You say Step Brothers is kind of dumb, but
No, I
everybody
don't.
loves.
I
Oh,
say
you don't?
I say Talladega Nights gets a little bit.
I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah.
I do
love
not
Step
think
Brothers.
I do not think Step Brothers gets dumb. I think Talladega Nights gets a little bit too much.
It took me a while to come around to Talladega Nights, but it's okay.
You think my rom-coms and
yeah,
stuff aren't well liked.
You're
So all the boys I loved before, or
Yeah,
Kissing
those-
Booth.
Kissing Booth,
Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah.
What is Kissing Booth?
It's some random Joey King, Jacob Elordi movie that
Like,
came out a few years ago.
It's a teenage love story.
Yeah, she was good. She's good. Yeah. I don't know. I think I watch good movies that everybody likes.
Right.
All right. What's a movie that you refuse to watch again, even if someone were to beg you?
Watch again. Any of the horror movies that I've started and will never finish. I started what was it? The guy, I can vision his face, The Shining. I started The Shining.
yeah.
I'd never finished it, but I'd never watch it even if you asked me to, and I know you love that horror
I do
movie.
like that movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right. What is there a character that you defend even though they're the villain?
No?
I'm a
I
big
don't think-
Cruella de Vil guy. I support.
Yeah, but you're supposed to support her. That's her movie. I love Ursula.
Oh,
Ursula. There we go.
yeah.
Ursula.
Ooh, I need to introduce you to John Waters so you can see the
Yeah.
inspiration for Ursula.
You've shown me him
Divine.
before. Yeah, you've shown me stuff of him before. Yeah. I love
If you
Ursula.
had to be trapped in one movie universe for a week, which one are you choosing?
Anything based in Italy, so I guess we'll say Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this one, but what's a movie that scared you as a kid that you just won't watch now? And he's on the wall behind you because he's in it.
I was gonna
Cake
say, what was
with
it?
Danny DeVito and chocolate cake.
Oh, Matilda. Yeah, I won't watch Matilda. I gave
Really?
it. Yeah, I can't do the cake scene. Really, really gets me. I cannot do it. That and Miss Trunchbull has always terrified me. I won't watch it ever again.
Yeah. I knew the answer to that one when I read.
Yeah, it's the one Danny DeVito thing I will never watch a second time. So that's also another movie no one could ever make me watch it again.
Yeah, Matilda. Is there a movie that made you cry when you didn't expect to?
Not really, because I don't really cry at movies all that much.
Come on, you know you cried at the end of Call Me by Your Name when you stare
Well,
at
yeah,
his
but
face crying.
okay, but you would expect to cry at that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's a really sad scene.
Ooh, is there an actor or actress that if they're in the movie, you're watching it?
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet,
Mhm.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
How is
Most
he in
of that.
Wonka, by the way? How was the new
Ti
Wonka?
He's fine.
It was fine.
fine.
I wouldn't. It's one of his movies that I'll never choose to watch again.
Okay.
But
Yeah. No, it's
Just
fine.
curious.
It does it
Yeah.
there the only thing the whole thing that makes it worth watching is there's a coin that he tosses that ends up in a sewer grate, which is the coin that many years down the road you're supposed to think
Oh,
that Charlie
okay.
finds to buy the candy bar that wins the golden
Yeah.
Because
ticket.
they didn't have any flooding or street washing or
Never.
anything
Of
different.
course
Okay,
not. It's
No.
dirty London. It's dirty Wonka town.
Mhm.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Is there
But
a
I
movie?
more have directors that I would just watch their movies because it's them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Same.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the person who's it's their
Yeah.
It's their
vision.
vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's like
actors just get
so
chosen.
last night, Danica and I watched Begonia. I will watch anything Yorgos Lanthimos does because
was it?
That was my first
I loved
Yorgos
it.
Lanthimos
I do
movie.
Was
not
it your
know-
first one?
Yeah.
I do not know how Emma Stone doesn't win again.
Okay.
She is
Okay.
so freaking good.
I don't know
And
how
I
Jesse
don't understand
Plemons
how
didn't get
Jesse
nominated.
Plemons didn't
Yeah.
get nominated because he's so
Yeah.
freaking
It was
Okay.
a really good movie.
Yeah,
I liked
it's
it.
wonderful.
Now I want to watch others of his movies because if they're like that,
Yeah,
I feel like they'll be good.
I recommend
I haven't seen
Lobster
Begonia.
and Poor
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah. And The Favorite. Oh, The Favorite.
The Favorite.
I
Yeah,
love The
you
Favorite.
like
Yeah, that's
Olivia
the one he
Colman, so
told me
watch
to
The
start
Favorite.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite.
Beautifully done.
What's a movie, Danica, everyone your age loves that you just can't do it? Everyone your
Anything
age
Adam
loves
Sandler.
it. Anything Adam Sandler.
Well, okay, that's not true. Uncut Gems was supposed to be
Well,
good. There are good
it
Adam
is good?
Sandler movies.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently.
Punch
It
Drunk
got good
Love.
ratings. Yeah. I don't like the ones like the new it's not Caddyshack.
No. Yeah, his new
Like Happy
Billy
Gilmore.
Madison.
The sequel.
Happy Gilmore's
Yeah.
the one I'm
But
thinking
yeah,
of,
Billy
number 2.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I just don't like all his movies where he decides to just recruit all his friends and they just have a fun time together.
They basically go on vacation
Yeah.
and phone it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
I agree.
all people my age love Adam Sandler, so they love those movies, but I don't.
I think your dad and I want to call him Bell, but I can't because there's two Bells here. But Josh and I have always said that we've seen him do really good work in like Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems, he is great. He's
I
great
like
in
50
these movies.
First Dates.
I
It's a
actually
good
like that
movie.
one too, and I
Yeah.
don't like Drew Barrymore, and I don't like Adam Sandler.
And I like I'm more of a
Yeah.
wedding singer guy if I'm going to pick one of the movies he did with her.
But he has it in him, and so
Yes.
we
Yeah.
always feel like it's a waste that he
Yeah.
doesn't try a little bit more and just turn
Yeah.
out better stuff. But I haven't seen Jay Kelly.
I heard
I
good
don't
things
know.
about that one.
It's the
I
new
heard good things.
one or whatever.
With Georgie,
Yeah.
Mr. Clooney. All right, last one, Danica. You're in charge of movie night. What are you putting on, and why is everyone else wrong if they complain?
There's list, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Either Perks of Being a Wallflower or the that Bad Times at the El Royale. I really loved that
yeah.
movie.
Wow, I
And they're
forgot about
wrong.
that movie. I
Yeah,
forgot all about that movie.
they're wrong because I chose them and they're good. So everyone
That's
should
all
want to
that's all
watch
that it
them.
needs to be.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
all that it needs to be.
Have you seen? Have you watched Phantom of the Paradise with Garrett Graham? Have you
She
seen?
hasn't. I just got the
I don't
Blu-ray,
think
so she can
so.
watch it anytime she wants now.
You
That'd
bought
be-
it or
Yeah.
you?
Oh yeah, I bought it. Yeah.
It
it's at-
and maybe it's not for everybody. I love it. I've watched since I was a kid. Garrett Graham is our guy. You
We
know?
I
have
think
to-
I've heard of Garrett Graham, but
That's this
I-
guy.
your dad has pictures all over the place.
That
so,
guy
you
right
know.
there. That's Garrett Graham.
Okay.
Bruce Campbell and Garrett Graham. That's pretty much the whole wall behind you, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of Bruce. I don't know. There's some Reservoir Dogs up there. There's
I see it.
Reservoir Dogs is by the guy who made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Quentin
right?
Tarantino.
Yes, yeah.
He does not like Paul Dano.
No, and
Or
I
Matthew
disagree
Lillard.
completely.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
He's
get
so
it.
wrong.
I
Yeah,
don't get
agreed.
it. All right. Anyways, that does it. Danica, how bad was it?
Not
Coming
that
on our
bad.
show. It's not
Not that bad. I didn't talk too much, but
The next time,
yeah.
You'll talk
know,
more. You'll talk more.
I realize in this, I typically overtalk everybody, but I was really conscious and I kept waiting. But your dad overtalks you a lot,
Yeah.
so I was like, but anyways, we'll get
Yeah.
it next time. And Mel, Amy, my wife, same situation. The first,
Mhm.
it's a little jarring. And Belle and I are used
Yeah.
to jabbering so much at each
Yes.
other with no air between our words, and so there's,
Yeah.
but it was awesome. We've been talking about
Right.
having you on forever,
For a long time.
and so
Did you get Amy to watch it with you?
Yeah.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she loved it.
She thought it was a
She
love
really liked
story,
it.
remember?
She's
Yeah.
yeah. But I
Alright.
don't mean it was. I think she thought that they were in love, or that it, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
And I could see
Yeah.
that from the outside because they said the same thing about Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. And Brokeback
I think they
Mountain
were
is
in
so
love.
tragic because it was a love that they couldn't actually have.
Yeah,
I love that movie. That's a really good movie.
it's a great.
Anyways,
Beautiful.
all right. So
Next time.
at this point of the show, I would normally say to our guests, tell the listeners where they can find you. Danica, do you want people to find your social media?
Not really.
All right.
I don't
Yeah.
post about movies.
No,
So.
so
That's
I'm not
probably
going to
for
do
the
that, but I
best.
am
Yeah.
going to let everybody know where to find us. You can find us at Couch Critics RRT on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. We post silly shenanigans all the time, every day. And we do this every Tuesday. We have our normal Dave and I just kind of going back and forth talking about whatever the topic
no
of
air.
the day is. And then occasionally when we are lucky enough to have interviews like we have with Danica, like we've had recently with John Davies and many other people, those always drop on Fridays. So check those out. And if you find any value at all in what we do, go wherever you listen to podcasts, leave us the 5-star rating and a review. Tell us how we're doing, please. Because why do we ask for this, Dave?
Love, validation, acceptance,
Yeah.
kindness, joy. Happiness.
Let us know that
All
we're
of it.
not just screaming into the void.
Yeah.
And if you have suggestions or opinions of your own, email us, therealrealtalk@gmail.com. But until next time, Dave, how are we going to close this one out?
Well, first, let me say, I hope this is the first of many, Danica. It was amazing to have you here. I
Great
think you
time.
were great. I think this is a weird situation, but hopefully it felt like a conversation. But anywho, I hope you come back
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Thank
And,
you.
you're just like a Mel. You're a part of the show at this point.
Yep.
So now you're asking me to have a closeout. Hold on, I gotta look. Let me see. Hold on. I gotta look in where my notes are. Anyways, thanks everybody for being here. It was really awesome. I guess that's all from the couch this week. Agree or disagree, we love it all.
And here at the Couch Critics, we're never yucking your yum. Someday it'll make sense.
Thanks, man.